Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Craft Eccentricity and a table full of not very much. Well, today is Tutorial Tuesday, and rubbing my hands with glee, I'm about to do something that I've never done before. So it's going to be fun. And you can see I've got some Ranger foil sheets here. I've had these for quite a while now. I got them from Tuesday morning and I haven't really used them all yet. So going to use those. I've got a sheet of white cardstock and I've got a sheet of double-sided adhesive paper here, which comes from Alina Craft. And I've also got, because it's an Eiffel store, I'm using I think it's a delphinium tulips. I'm thinking about spring, and I'm using the long leaf border, which is from this die set. I will do any measurements afterwards. And from Surprise Creation and the Slimline dies, I'm using the two largest ones out of the Torn Edge double set. So, right, what am I going to do? Who knows, eh? We have some glitter also from Tuesday morning. I grabbed these because I thought almost spring colours but a bit adult. This is a sort of a rose pinky red, then I've got a blue, then I've got a green, and I've got a yellow, and it's it's all stuff that I need to use up. So we're going to be doing something with what I've just shown you. But first of all, I am going to cut this piece of paper using the slimline die. I'm going to peel the carrier off, the shiny bit, and I'm going to keep that, and I'm going to come straight back. Actually, I changed my mind and I'm going to show you what I'm doing because I need to stand up. And you can see here I've started peeling the carrier off. This is sticky, so I'm going to lay that down on top of my cardstock here. I'm giving myself a border because this double-side adhesive is actually larger than letter size. So I'm just going to rub that down as far as I can without it going over the edge. It doesn't matter if you've got a few bubbles in it. Now, I do know I'm going to have to get my scissors now and trim the end off so that I don't waste it. So excuse me for a second while I just trim off camera, and then I'll show you. Right, see, I've got that piece that I didn't waste. And now I've got this, which doesn't go all the way down to the edge, but the last thing that I want to do is get any sort of like sticky yuck on my cutting plates. So that is now down so that when I cut it with my slimline die and peel the yellow back, the whole slimline die is going to be sticky. But I've also got the plastic carrier. Okay, we're going to keep this because we're going to use it, I hope. Right, now I'm just going to cut my die and I will be back. Okay, I've snipped all my dies apart and I've cut two leaves there in exactly the same way as I cut this background. I'm now going to do the same with my flowers from the rest of that cardstock so that they will be sticky on top too. And I'm going to go back with my smaller panel, which will sit on top of its background, and I'm going to cut out this carrier sheet and I will be back. So now I've got my slimline, which has got the double-sided adhesive on top. I've got two leaf borders, exactly the same adhesive on top. I've done the delphiniums, the tulips and the leaves, and I've also cut out the plastic carrier that comes off the back of that, and I used two of the delphinium dies just to cut a pattern into there. I'm now going to peel this off and stick this down so that it's a template that I can work through. That's the idea here. And if you wanted to, you've also got two really little delicate ones that you could use as well. Those are the bits that popped out. Right, now I'm going to stand up for this because, as you know, I can't see really over my camera, and I'm peeling off the yellow carrier. Now my entire slimline die is now sticky, and I've got to get this on accurately. So you forgive me if I slide it down a bit, or if I'm shouting into the microphone. I need to marry those corners up. Right. Well, because it's the carrier, it will peel back up for you, so you don't have to worry about that. And then you very carefully want to tap down where those flowers are. Yay! Woo! We have success. Look at that. The slimline is now covered all back over with the carrier. And now into that area, I'm going to sit back down. We're going to put some foil. Right. I'm seated again. I've got one of those office chairs on wheels, and I can just scoot around the room with it. It's quite hilarious, really. So I've got a scrap here that I want to use first because I might not need a new sheet, and I'm just going to go into that area and rub with my finger without disturbing the stencil. Now, I do not have to worry about this going anywhere else because, as I said, we have created that lovely little floral thing that we've got going on here. So I'm going to go in there. Ooh, it's coming off nicely, isn't it? So I'm going to carry on putting the foil down, and I will be back. Okay, I've done that, and so far that's what I've got. I haven't been absolutely perfect. It's a little bit scratchy, and I am now going to peel the carrier off that we put down. So you'll remember the whole front of the card is now sticky. So let's get that off. And of course it's going to stick to my hands, and it is tearing, but just persevere, peel it off, and that is what we've got. Right, the whole thing is sticky, but I've still got some scraps of foil, and I'm going to continue using those. So I'm just going to sort of like screw the bunch up and chuck it down where I want, lift my fingers out of the way. What I don't want to do, obviously, is cover up those lovely flowers that I've just done. So I'm just going to use up what I've got. I'm not going to waste it. And go off the edge as well. Like I say, I haven't got a clue what I'm doing, but I just hope it's going to be pretty. So I hope you grabbed yourself a coffee, because you know me, I love a good disaster. So I've gone through there, and that's quite nice. I like the little scratchy bits of foil. Ooh, I do, I like that. Right, so personally, turn it the right way around. I think I might put a little bit off that edge, actually. Yeah, that looks nice. Gold foil is always luxurious, so it always looks nice. So I've got that, and I think that's too much of an empty space for me up there, to be honest. So I'm just going to put my finger on a bit that are foils and do a little bit more. Now, all I'm going to say is my sky is blue, and I did show you the glitters that I'm using. They're these Wow glitters, and they're quite adult spring colours, if you know what I mean. They're sparkly, but they're not sort of like too in your face. So I'm now going to go with the blue background. So I'm just going to grab a sheet of white cardstock. Right, I just moved my other small die cuts off to the side there because I don't want to cover them in blue. And let's make a mess. Let's see what happens now. Ooh, I do like a good sprinkle of glitter. And now I'm just going to move it around and brush it in with my finger. Ooh, that's looking pretty. It's kind of mermaid blue. If I go quiet, it's because I'm enjoying myself. It's not because I'm ignoring you. So just spread that out. And of course, any excess, you just roll your paper up and put it back into your bottle. Ooh, what a glorious thing. I'll sweep some of that down there. Shake some more out. And I'm rubbing it in. Of course, we don't know what we're going to end up with. But it's going to sparkle. I do know that. Dust some up there. And just sort of like polish it in with your finger. I mean, if I could throw glitter on the floor and walk through it, I would, I assure you. I wouldn't like to vacuum it up, but I'd certainly like to walk through it. All that soft, sparkly stuff running between your toes. I could think of nothing nicer. Especially if it was pink. Right, so I think I have made good contact with that glitter onto the sticky surface so that nothing else would stick down, if you know what I mean. So hopefully that's now a nice sparkly background we can start putting our flowers onto. Now I will tidy up off camera, but let's just give this a tap. And we used quite a bit. Can you see that? Like I say, it's not sort of like in your face sparkly. And I will get a close-up of this. I've got here a Dollar Tree bristly brush, which I'm going to use to sort of like sweep off any excess. Oh, that looks really pretty. And give it another tap. Yeah, actually, you'd be surprised how much is lying on the surface once you start to brush. And here we go again. I think that will do it. I'll tap it on a clean piece and see what else is coming on. But you know, glitter is glitter. Let's see if we can get a close-up. So that's what we've got so far. And that's kind of like my background sky. So I'm going to tidy my mess up and I'll be straight back. Right, all nice and tidy, all back in the bottle, and that is what we have so far. You can see all that lovely sparkly texture there, and there are kind of like little bits of silver and green. I don't know if you can see that in that glitter, which make it really, really pretty. So those are our scratchy bits, and then those are the foiled delphiniums, which are going to act as the shadows for these, which are, when I can pick them up because I've tangled them all up, these are going to be sparkled up as well. So you can see you've got the shadow layer there for your delphiniums. And it's really nice that they come in three, because I just love to work in odd numbers. So you can see those there. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a couple of coffee filters to do the rest of my glittering, and I'll be straight back. Right, so the first colour I want to use is the green, and I want to do the leaves of my delphiniums. So I'm going to peel back the stem and the leaves there, so that that's the bit that's revealed and sticky. And I'm going to keep, let's move that piece there, I'm going to keep my flowers covered. so that they don't become green. And anything that goes into your coffee filter, once again, you're going to be able to just put it all back into your pot. So I'm going to shake that off. It's a lovely pale green. Like I say, it's almost a sort of like Easter glitter for adults. So I'm just going to pop that one down there. And then I'm going to peel this one off. When you're peeling adhesive off things like this, don't start here. Always start at your stem, because it's your strongest point without causing any tears, she says. And I'll probably lift it up and tear it. No, I didn't. See, because you can just hold your stem and then go as far as you want to go. So just the leaves revealed once again, and going down with some glitter. Make sure it's all covered. And I'm going to polish these up in a minute to make sure that the glitter is stuck all over. But there's that one. And if I move my cap out of the way, I can lie that one down. Oh, I'm having so much fun. And I do thank you for joining me. I do thank you every time you join me for a tutorial, because I just never know what's going to happen. And that is, for me, part of the fun of it, actually. And whether it's so much fun for you. Right, so that one is also a lovely appley green. And I'll just pause while I put my green stuff back in the bottle. I just wanted to say, coffee filters are great things for glitter because there's no static and you can just keep reusing it while you're doing your project. So I'm going to burnish that in because I want to make sure that when I put my red on for my flowers, that I'm not going to be getting any red onto the green. So all of the sticky is gone off them. You just need to do this just really gently, and it will just make sure that all your glitter is pressed down where it needs to be. So far I'm quite happy with what I'm creating, to be honest. And then I'm just going to tap that off onto the paper, put it down onto my board there so I can clean this piece of cardstock up. And then we're going to get stuck into the red. Wait, back in a second. Right, and here we go again. This time with the red. I'm not exactly sure what colour they are. I know that they're from Tuesday Morning and they are Wow glitters. I think this is called, can you see that on the camera? Scarlet. Ah, well, there you go. It's always nice to have that magnifier on the camera. And now I'm going to pick up one that I've done. And now we're just going to continue peeling back. And now it's just going to be the flower that is sticky. Actually looks nice in white as well. But we're going in with this one. Give it a shake. Make sure that's all covered. And there is our first sparkly delphinium. And you can see that I've got a little bit of red on, but it will brush off because the green is the one that got stuck down before. So there's one completed. I'll do this one and then I'll just go off camera and do the next one for you. So just shaking down. They're calling it scarlet, but it's like a sort of like rose pink red. Shake that off. And there you've got another one. Probably a couple of little areas there that I've missed. So, I mean, they get covered anyway when I start rubbing the glitter across it. But I've just done two pretty ones. Drop that down. got red glitter everywhere. I'm going to do the next one and I'll be back. So that's what we've got at the moment. And you've got that gorgeous gold shadow of the delphiniums going on behind there. And it's all super, super sparkly. And now I need to be able to do, using the same coffee filter again, I'm going to do all of the tulip leaves in green, because that's going to take a little while. I'm going to do it exactly the same way you just saw me do the delphinium leaves, using that apple green, because that's the only colour green I've got in that set. So that's what we'll have to do. And then I'll be back to do a couple of tulips. Okay, tulip leaves are greened up and tulip stems are greened up, and the last colour to use is this lovely lemon. The texture's almost a bit like damp sand, actually. That could be my humidity, who knows? But it's pretty glitter, and you can see that I have used quite a bit of it, really. I think I only got this last year. So now, holding it by the green stem, I'm going to pull that off and go in with our lovely sort of sunshine yellow and get that on there. So there's our tulip. Ooh, let's see if we can get a good picture. There we are. Just polish off the excess with your fingers, and then you know the whole thing is covered. I'm just going to pop that down there. Do it with this one. Scroosh it around with my fingers. I'll stick that one down there. Right, I'm going to finish those 3 little ones and I'll be right back. Right, those are all glittered, and I've just popped them on there so that you can have a good look at just how spectacularly sparkly that is. I think that's awesome. Well, you know me and glitter. I just love it. So we've done the flowers, we've done the background, and I've cut 2 leaf borders. Now, I've got a little bit of foil left, and I've decided I'm going to do these in foil and try to use them some way on this base. So I'm going to start with the stem, which is what I told you you need to do so that you don't tear anything, because then you can hold, see that, while you pull, and nothing's going to get torn. So I'm just going to stick that down, and then I'm going to go in with foil, because I've got this little scrap left. Not get it stuck to my finger. Can you see that? Stuck on my hand, and I don't want to tear it. So I think probably what I need now is a new sheet so that I can get it done properly, and then it won't go all over the place. So just get myself a nice new sheet of foil out and put that down there and give it a good rub, and then I'll have something to hang on to. So if I grab my leaf behind there and pull, there we go. That's better. I can put my fingers on it now. And you've got that. Isn't that pretty? The bit that's left. I like that. And now I'm going to put that bit down. Make sure it's all covered. Got some little bits that are still sticky. So what I'll do is I'm going to do this one to match that one. Well, I'm going to completely finish that one and I'll be back. Right, so now I've got myself 2 lovely gold leafy bits. Yes. Who knows where I'm going to put them? I've got a good idea that because I'm going to have space, that I may just go completely over the top, and I don't know, crop to top and bottom. I'm going to lift the camera up slightly, see if I can get the whole thing in. Maybe not. Skew if. Well, you get the idea. And I think I'm going to crop them so that it's almost like a sort of pyramid T shape coming down from both points. And then, of course, the great fun is how you arrange your flowers. So I'm going to take all of those off and scoot them out of the way. Separate my flowers from my leaves. There we go. Put that up there. Another flower. It's really pretty. I hope I can get a good close-up for you after. So what I'm going to do is, if I scoot this up here, I'm going to measure where I need to snip, which is there, and I'm going to get my scissors in right on that stem. Because don't forget, it doesn't matter if you've got a bit of overlap, because we haven't done the base yet. And then I'm wondering how much of that I've got left. But I think that actually looks quite nice piled up. But what I need to do is, you can see there's a sort of like weird looking bit that's sticking out. So I want to make that tidy. Can you see that? That's now sort of more part of the stem. Now I could actually go up like, yeah, and then I'll create a corner coming down there. Right, so I'm going to crop the other one exactly the same, create a corner coming down there and glue it, and I'll be back. Right, I just wanted to show you this so that you know that there are the first two pieces down, and that is the bottom section of the card. So I want to do the same and come down this way. So I'm just going to spin it over so that you can see. Now I've put glue down onto the border that I intend to use, and I'm only using Dollar Tree glue in a needle tip bottle there from Aliexpress. So I'm going to pop it down. Now glitter to cardstock is notoriously difficult to stick down, so I've got that basically where I want it. I'm going to slide that piece up a little bit. Now take your carrier paper using the shiny side. The shiny side is going to go down onto your leaf border. You're going to hold it there, and you're just going to press until you've got some good adhesion. Now that might take a couple of times, but it's better than it sort of like coming off on you and you getting loads of yuck on your hands. Can you see that? And you can just wipe that away. That's not going to affect anything. And then go in with whatever other pieces you've got onto your glitter surface. I'm popping the stem there so that I'm able to come up the border there. Now shiny side down again, holding it in place, and just press. And as I say, it might take a couple of times, but I'm just going to let this dry now before I finish it off. Right, now that's all nice and stuck fast, and I've got two of my delphinium flowers on there, and I still want to be able to see that lovely gold foil that I did, so I'm kind of arranging them in a way so that I can still see that. But at the same time, I want to be able to break those up with the tulips so that it's not all one solid colour going on in one place. And this is where you kind of like start to position them on your card so that you're getting an arrangement. But as you can see how I've got those few there, and I still do have these here, I'm going to glue these down, and I'm going to use the carrier sheet again, shiny side down, to press them down onto this glitter surface. And I will be right back to finish off the rest and show you. So here's where I've got to so far, and some areas I haven't put glue because I thought it was quite nice to have that little bit of dimension, like behind the tulips and whatnot, going towards the delphiniums. And I just think, let's get a close up, that it's starting to look really, really pretty. So I've got this space here, and of course I don't want all my flowers clumped up there. So I've saved this big delphinium, which I can use the leaves to try and start bringing the whole thing down. So I'm going to glue that, I think, about there, and I'm just going to do the lower leaves and the stem only, so that I've got this floating around three-dimensionally there at the top. So I'm just going to glue that there, and I'll be straight back. Right, so there's where I've got, and I decided I was going to put the tiny little tulip buds coming up there. Now, to fill this space, I've got 2 tulips left, and I've got 2 sets of leaves left. Now, I don't want to entirely cover that lovely gold border, so I'm trying to think of sort of like the direction of the leaves and how it's going to look when I pop these down here. I need a leaf going off in that direction, absolutely. But what I don't like is this bit of space here. So I need to kind of collect those, and that will sort of, for me personally, that will finish it. So let's glue those down. So for the tulips, just the stems, Dollar Tree glue all the way down the stem there. I'm just going to rest that roughly where I think it needs to be. And then I'm going to do the stem of this one, because as I've just said, when you're not gluing the whole thing, the weight of the glitter that you've put on there will kind of make it stick up a little bit more proud. I'll go with that there. And now just take the shiny side of the carrier sheet, place it down on top. Remember where you've glued, and just press. And then that's made contact with what's below. You've got some yuck on there, which will just roll off because it's a shiny surface, and it just comes off like, you know, glue, rubbery, sticky, yucks. There's a good word. And then the leaves need to come in where they're not going to create too much empty space and distraction. So I'll glue those there, and I'll be right back. So I ran off and I die cut another border and gilded it, because even though, you know, it's space for a sentiment, I'm not actually going to put a sentiment there today. So I've decided I was going to crop that up and make a sort of like vining section there that is going to hang down to fill that space. So I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to cut the backgrounds that this will go onto, and I'll be straight back. Okay, so that's all finished. I've got my vining bit on the top there, and I've popped it onto foam tape and put it onto a white background so that those lovely spring colours shine. There is the arrangement and all of the foil. I'm going to sort of like tilt it sideways towards the light, and I hope that you can see it sparkling in all its glory. That gorgeous apple green glitter. It's a shame that I didn't have a darker one, because as I say, this isn't a sort of in your face kind of glitter. It's slightly matte. So if anyone knows if they do a slightly darker shade of green than this one, which I think is called Key Lime, then do let me know. But there you have it, all the sparkles of springtime. You could actually, if you wanted to, go in there with a few drops of glossy accents or something, or your crystal drops. But I don't know if you can see the whole thing. I'm going to pop the camera up slightly, see if I can move it down, maybe put it to the side. but I will take a full photo for you, which should show, I hope, at the beginning of this video. So there you have it. We didn't have a disaster this week. Well, how could you when you're using glitter? But I do thank you for joining me today. And I used, just to recap, Eiffel Store's leaf border, which comes in a set of 3. I used his new tulips. I used what I'm calling delphiniums. They may be foxgloves, or I'm trying to think what else they could be, but I'm calling them delphiniums. And the straight edge slim lines that come in the double set from Surprise Creation. Now, these plastic storage folders only fit the Surprise Creation slimline dies. Anything bigger, they're just not going to go in. If you're over 9 inches, you're out of luck with these, but I will link them below because they're really nice. So there we have it. There we have our glitter. There that is, and there we have our Dollar Tree glue. I used Ranger foil, which is this stuff. You can get this in Tuesday morning for like 99 cents, I think. And there is the completed card. Right, as usual, all links are below, and I hope you have a fabulous day. I think I'm going to be up with some MX Arts cuteness tomorrow. Thank you for watching. Bye.